Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the Eden Army podcast. I'm your host tonight, Pete Robertucci. This is April 2nd, episode 11 of season 2 of the podcast. And we're coming to you live on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Kick.com. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Everything you see on the social media platforms, everything, it helps gets the word out. I can't tell you how much just a few of you guys sharing some of these clips and everything I've been putting out during the week really helps the traffic and has been driving new subscribers into each of these platforms. So I certainly appreciate that. Since the last time we were on, I'd like to thank Bullshite Guy, Mama Teresa, and K-Love. Happy birthday, K-Love, by the way, for your resubscription. It keeps the lights on. Oh, by now you guys all know that I will not be at the Mountain Readiness event. However, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be doing any events. On April 25th and 26th, I'll be at the Homesteading and Prepping Summit in St. Johns County Fairgrounds in Elkton, Florida. So I will scroll the links in chat for those tickets. So hopefully you guys can pick those tickets up. And they're pretty cheap, so I'll be there all weekend bringing the RV, so it'll be pretty cool. Also, guys, don't forget to support Miss Terry with her prepping and homesteading related coloring books, as well as Russ with his second book of the Hanging Creek Chronicles. Keep an eye on the chat also, because the links for each of those endeavors will be going through the link as we're going through the show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about prepping politics, both domestically and on the world stage. We'll touch on crazy Candace Owens. America's going back to the moon. We could have put her on that damn Artemis shot. That would have been better for the world. Gavin Newsom has a Biden moment. Iran says America is in for something spectacular. Meanwhile, the terrorist who rammed his car into the synagogue a few weeks back may have been part of a broader network. You know, he was hoping to kill innocent Israeli toddlers. It may have been part of a broader network. There's some speculation going on about that. We're also going to hear right now from Nick Meacher with his daily preparedness brief. Part 1. We're going to break it into 2 parts, guys. So we'll be right back.
Today's Daily Preparedness Brief with Nick Meacher.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. So this is a daily preparedness briefing, one of several that I do. And let's just jump into what is on it for today. Here you go. All right. So fuel and energy. Well, we all know the costs are up. Gas is $4, some places $5, and no relief in sight. And if you get the more detailed one, it goes into this in more detail. But jet fuel is up by about 4 times the cost. And even if the ceasefire does occur, it's going to take weeks before the prices come back down. That obviously also impacts the groceries, but the bigger impact right now is the cost of fertilizer is up over 50%. A lot of the urea and other exports come out of the Gulf region, and that is not happening right now. China has also restricted some exports as well. So the spring planting's underway. The shelf life of this stuff is 4 to 8 weeks, but a lot of the reports state that a lot of farmers already had the stuff for this year, so it may not be as big of an impact for the spring planting, but maybe later in the year. Obviously, we know the shipping is closed and all the ships are rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope, which is adding 10 to 14 days, so 2 weeks of transit time. What the knock-on effect is the time slots to get into ports and unload, and the kind of domino effect of that is going to happen. Air travel, obviously restricted over the Gulf states. Some airports are actually closed, obviously those in Iran, but other Gulf airports are being closed, and one was closed today, and I can't remember off the top of my head because they took a missile strike on their fuel tanks. Let's see, the cyber stuff, there's a whole bunch of cyber stuff going on. If you see my more detailed report, it lists them all. There's a lot. I am not a huge cyber understanding a lot of that stuff. I just know that the amount of attacks that have gone up since the start of the war campaign, whatever you want to call it, are significant. There's some measles stuff going on across 32 states. Just keep an eye on that. Communications conditions, something that came out of my fiction series, but it takes into the impact of geomagnetic storms, the disturbance to HF bands, satellite capabilities, submarine cable capabilities. There's a whole broad spectrum that looks at. It's up a level. The lowest level was 5, so up a little bit of level. That's just because of the HF impacts with storms and stuff. And today's weather, again, we're running into that time of the year where there is a lot of severe storms popping up, tornadoes, etc. So if you're in any impact area, keep an eye on that. I do have a daily light briefing that I do, and that has the current weather in for that day, and that's a free one on the website. So what more detailed stuff can you?
Well, guys, that's part one of Nick's daily brief. We're going to go ahead and do part two on some of the things that you can do in relation to that type of briefing. You know, how can you prepare for it? But Russ, how are you doing, brother? Mute. You're mute. You're muted.
I'm not in my camper. I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
You know?
You got
I'm all discombobulated. We made it home on Tuesday, and doctor's appointments, because we're trying to get them all knocked out before we're gone. For another extended period of time. But
sure, good.
Made it on. Everything is going good. Fiber is a wonderful thing.
Yes, fiber optic is awesome. Yes, guys, as you can see, kick.com is blowing up. I don't know. We're bringing in all the chat from Kick. I don't know if anyone's chatting in the other platforms or not, but as you can see, we added this little overlay here. So the other the not so cool kids can see what's actually going on in Kick, right? So let's chat it up as much as possible. Russ, I do have some good news.
Do you?
I do. Now we've talked about the Tortuga problem that I had, right? The
Yes.
tortoises.
Yes.
And the extreme amount of money I've had to pay for all of that stuff. Finally, Russ, it's been since October of last year. Finally, I have in my hand right here. I'm not going to turn it around because it has my address on it, and I don't want any of those crazy Muslims to know where I live off the bat. But finally, in my hand right here is the permit for my new garage. Right.
Awesome.
Now I don't know how I'm
time coming, brother.
I don't know how the hell I'm going to pay for it yet because I've since spent all that money.
Hey, $20 is $20, bro. You got to do what you got to do.
You know, I'll just hit Main Street and see if I can't do an OnlyFans or something. I got to do something.
Your OnlyFan is not working?
No, my only fan. I think my only fan is Kelly, actually.
Hey, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but Kelly was kind of trying to just step out on you this past weekend. I'm just saying, and we'll have to talk a little more off net. He is kind of, we were up there with Roy, with the Dorns and Charlie Clements and all those guys with the Coastal Plains of North Carolina community preparedness event that they had up in Dixon Landing.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, you might need to chastise him a little bit or cut him off for a little while or something, man.
Well, he is a young man. He has urges and needs. So I get it. I understand that. As a married man of 24 years, I understand that, that you have those kind of needs, I reckon.
We had a really good time up there, though. Just Steve and Joan of Dixon Landing are such gracious hosts. Roy and Julie put on a great event. A small, intimate event. Food was phenomenal. And, just the conversation, the classes were good. So it was a really good time.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, they put on a good event from what I understand. And anytime you can get out and get that intimate type of group, right? That small group that you can hang out at the campfire with, and you learn something on top of that, man, forget about it. That's what we're doing all of this for. That's what this podcast is about. That's what this preparedness community or tribe is about, right?
Exactly. And I'll have to give a shout out. And I mentioned this to you offline in the green room. I tried this weekend banana pudding moonshine. And it was tremendous. It tasted just like grandma's banana pudding, had just barely a kick. But I tell you, I could have sat there and drank the whole thing, but I was good. I only had one little bit, but we killed, we probably killed that jar, just the ones that we had there Friday. The weather was as bipolar as it is down in Florida. It was almost 90 on Friday, and the high on Saturday was 55 with the wind, 17-mile-an-hour winds. We were freezing Saturday.
Yeah, we'll give it a couple weeks down here in Florida, and it's going to be miserable. I got to get up to the great north. Russ, I didn't add this. We have? I want to touch on some things here real quick. Let me move down to.
Where you want to go?
Damn it! Let me add. Let's get rid of this chat real quick because I got it. And I want to add a screen share. I'm on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it. Boom, because we do have some stuff that I'd like to share here real quick. And let's do it this way right here. Guys, it looks like let's back up at the very beginning. Gas prices are going up, right? We're still at war with Iran. We talked about why the gas prices are going up, speculators and stuff like that, regardless that we hardly get any of our oil and natural resources except for fertilizer through that particular region. Gas prices are continuing to go up. National average is $4.08, Florida $4.23. And of course, you can live in a communist state of California and pay nearly $6, but it's continuing to go up. If anybody watched last night's speech, it seems like this thing's going to be winding down within the next 2 or 3 weeks, supposedly. But they also said that the gas prices lag. They go up real fast, but they seem to come down real slow, which is a bunch of
always been. It's gone up. And it traditionally goes up a little bit this time of year, especially coming toward the end of May, and it's usually up a little bit during the summer. It's going to take its sweet time coming down over the summer. I guarantee it. Yeah,
hopefully it just happens a little faster. Let's talk about market volatility. Today, the Dow Jones is pretty much flatlined for the last 5 days. You can see that it's gone up about a 1/3%, not too much, right? Last month, significantly down 4%. 6 months, pretty much flatlined. Year to date, again, almost 4%. Now we start to look into the gains that we had for the past year and then the past 5 year. So not too concerned really, because we're still doing better than we were. So, but it's starting to hurt the wallet, and I think that Trump's starting to understand that, and he's starting to put an eye on midterms. So. That's I think
I know South Carolina is talking about suspending their gas tax, which will drop our price 23 cents.
Yeah, and I think it's almost the same here in Florida, which I don't quite understand. That should be done already, but I suspect a lot of it's greed, and it's beginning to piss me off a little bit. Now, look, I get it. I fully will. I will pay a little extra in gas to get rid of the Iranian regime, which now Trump is touting that the regime has changed. By the way, we'll see. We'll see. Different side of the same coin, right?
Absolutely.
Bitcoin's. I like the crypto market too, because it's kind of an indicator of where people are putting their dollars, right? Today down a little bit. Last 5 days up a little bit. Month down. 6 month considerably down, right? 44%. And then the year is 20%. 5 years, of course, is up 17%. And of course, if you were able to buy it when you were, when it was still a little new thing that nobody believed in, well, you'd be up 14,000%.
Oh, yeah. I know, right?
Another place people like to stick their money, right, is gold and silver. Gold slightly up for the day and slightly down for the month. And silver, we're probably going to see the same thing. Silver, then the 5 day there, and then the 1 month pretty much emulates gold, right? Those things move back and forth. Through the Straits of Hormuz, we're starting to see more traffic. These red icons here are oil tankers And these lines in front of these oil tankers are their direction of travel. So we can see now that these oil tankers are starting to flow, but we still have a pretty big group of tankers here. Not as many docked or moored, I guess, as there used to be, but they are certainly starting to let tankers through. I think Iran's getting the deal.
Hint.
They're starting to get the hint a little bit. So I'm going to move over. I'm just going to pop it over to show 3 and get rid of that real quick, Russ.
Yeah,
there we go. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think now, like I said, I think that the Trump administration is starting to feel the crunch, and the GOP is starting to worry about midterms. So he wants to wind this thing up, and I believe the Iranians want to wind it up also.
I think they do too. I really do. They talk a good talk, but thus far, and yes, unfortunately, there have been casualties. Some of them not related. We lost an Apache over there, I believe it was, over in Egypt. Some type of incident, but it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I think, look, it's going to be, and we talked about this last week, there's going to be casualties in war, civilian casualties, and, everyone freaks out because we lost a surveillance jet. These things are going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. So, but on a good note, and guys, don't forget also hashtag preps for your weekly preps. If that doesn't pop up, I don't know if I changed that.
Yeah, it is popping.
Okay, cool. On a good note, guys, we are going back to the moon for the first time. Now, some conspiracy theorists would say that we never went to the moon to begin with, but we are going back to the moon. Artemis 2 took off yesterday from Cape Canaveral Air Force, Kennedy Space Center, and they are on a 10-day voyage to actually go around the moon. Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah. Were you able to see it?
Yeah, we did see it. Actually, we were training out there at the range yesterday, and we took a break from running and gunning and saw very briefly. We had a little bit of cloud cover, but yeah.
So, so you're saying Jason made the schedule this time?
Yeah, of course. And we had actually a couple of new guys in the group, so we're kind of vetting for the group. So
speaking of those AWACS, I'm going to pop this up on the screen. Miss Julie told us about this weekend. Miss Julie worked with the AWACS back when she was in the Air Force, and that was one that they lost this weekend was one of hers that she had dealt with back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So
see, it's a small world, and it shows how diverse our community is, right?
It is. It really is.
All over the place. Let's watch a quick video that Artemis takeoff for those people that did not see it yesterday. It really is history, guys. That's why. And we kind of, at this point, need a kind of pick-me-up for this country, right?
It's going to be quite a ride up there. It'll be 10 days, and I'm going to quiet down now. The return to the moon, Artemis 2 launch. Let's listen to Mission Control.
I saw that, Patrick. That was a cool video.
Yeah, I did too.
GLS go for ALS. $25. 20. 15. 10. GLS is go for core stage engine start.
Integrity, good roll pitch.
And we could hear the rumble all the way here.
Roll pitch.
Oh, wow. I'll bet. The last one that they launched while we were down there, we were outside trying to look, and the cloud cover was just horrible.
cojones these astronauts have, huh? Basically sitting on top of a missile, and meanwhile we're gonna go around the moon. Get out of here! You gonna trust the government? I don't trust the government with anything.
Yeah, I mean, at least, I mean, Artemis isn't funded. But is this funded by the government?
No, I don't think that.
I
Yeah,
don't
this
think
one
it
I
is.
believe.
Is funded by you.
Integrity through
No, this isn't a
SpaceX.
SpaceX.
Pumps daily on.
This is the Orion
And
capsule.
we have you loud and clear
Okay.
on daily on. Have you the same?
Hey, Matthew, good to see you, brother. Could you imagine? Good God.
Come a long way from Wile E. Coyote, ain't we?
Yeah. Well, the good news is if it runs out of fuel, they just stops in midair.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's where I was going, bullshit. Made by the lowest bidder. You know, you got a lowest bidder rocket sled strapped to your behind.
It's funny because I've done a lot of work at Kennedy Space Center with my business before I sold it. And actually what ends up happening is all the ground crew, they all stay the same. It's just the management companies. And what ends up happening is whoever the lowest bidder is, they absorb the last bunch of managers, project managers and stuff like that. So the names never change, or the people never change, just the names of the company. It's such a racket.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's all
Integrity.
Artemis.
Guidance converged.
Artemis,
Performance nominal. Upper stage RCS ready.
Copy all, Stan.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
Integrity. SM priming complete.
Now I can pay for another turtle hole to get dug up.
Yeah, no kidding. Pretty darn cool.
Yeah, so pretty neat. Anyway, definitely a piece of history there. You can always tell people where you're where you were when I have. Hello, giving me space now over on YouTube. Good to see you. All the cool kids are hanging out at kick.com/Eden Army, but it's good to see you over there, brother or sister. I can't. I don't mean to assign you a gender. It's my bad.
Oh, that's Mel. That's Give Me Peace. That's Mel.
Mel, she changed her name again?
No, that's always in her thing on YouTube.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, good to see you, Miss Mel, again. We just had dinner with the angry crew as well as Mr. Larry Dial the other day. He's down in Florida doing the family Disney type thing.
I'm one up on you though. We got to see young Master Wesley, Bullshite's newest member of Bullshite's family. Him and Tara came and on Saturday and hung out with us. So I'll make sure Melissa heard that so she can get jealous.
Yeah, she will. She will definitely get jealous. There's a lot going on, Russ. There's a whole bunch of conspiracy going on. I don't know if you've been following the news much with this Candace Owen. This Candace Owen chick is batshit crazy. Allegedly. You know, I have a theory on why she's so angry. It's only a theory though, so I'm not going to share it on the air. Just follow some of my posts on social media, and you'll see what a scorned woman she may or may not be.
Yeah.
The man was married.
Have no fury,
the man was
brother.
married, Candace. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. He's married. I know. Happens to me all the time. But look, he's married. You just need to let bygones be bygones. But apparently the bullet, they couldn't match the bullet from the assassin's gun. Why? Because it was so fragmented. It didn't have that fingerprinting on, as it goes through the barrel.
Through the rifling of the barrel, yeah.
Kind of simple, right?
Yeah.
If it's in fragments, it does not have that fingerprinting. But some people say it was a 30-06 and it should have done this or should have done that. No, I've shot a lot of deer with a 30-06, and I can tell you, depending on where they hit, I quartered one in the neck one time, Russ, and clearly that shot it never exited. And guess what I did? I picked out fragments of bullet through the meat, and
for days.
It just those are the things that happen. I've also been on EMS calls where I've seen high caliber rifles like that never exit the cavity of a body because it hits stuff, right? There's a thing called physics. I don't know. An object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force, like a bone. It's weird like that.
It is.
So, yeah.
Terminal ballistics are a thing.
it really is. But what I keep stressing to everybody that's into this particular conspiracy theories. Now, there are some conspiracy theories that I am 100% behind. This particular one is what it does when you fall into this particular trap. It takes I've said this a million times, it takes your eye off the real enemy of this nation, and that's radical leftists. That's radical leftists. They're the biggest, the biggest threat in this country, regardless of what CNN is going to tell you. Radical leftists are the biggest threat. Look, here's the deal. ICE facility in Texas, shot from a rooftop. Butler, Pennsylvania, attempted assassination from a rooftop. Charlie Kirk, assassinated from a rooftop. But then all of a sudden, no, there's no pattern here. There's no pattern.
Just like there's no pattern between the school shootings.
Exactly. Well, right. And that's, yeah. Still radical leftists, just these particular radical leftists don't know what gender they are actually assigned.
Exactly.
So anyway, let's run that clip of Crazy Candace and see how happy she is. She's actually calling for the acquittal of the man that assassinated Charlie Kirk.
All right, you guys, happy Tuesday.
Look how happy she is.
I really did have the best day ever yesterday. I mean, foremost, the news broke about the Freemason hit squad in France. Then we wrap up the episode yesterday and the internet explodes because the ATF in the Tyler Robinson case cannot connect the gun to him. Oh, okay, interesting. What does it all mean? You have a bunch of people racing. Ooh, could you imagine the PR cash they are spending right now? Racing to tell you, this is a big nothing burger. Who cares if we can't connect the gun to the bullet fragment? Okay.
The good news is, Russ, she doesn't actually look crazy while she's talking.
We care.
Yeah,
I
not
care.
at all.
Because we were right.
Right about what? What were you right about?
You're
right about something that's inconclusive. Inconclusive doesn't mean that that bullet did not come from that rifle. It says they couldn't match it because it's a fragmented bullet. So I don't quite understand. I agree.
I watched a clip on her last week sometime, and it was all the times, we're getting close. We've been getting close since November, and we're still getting close, and we're getting closer any day now, Yeah,
that's one of the clips I posted last week. She's been getting close since the poor guy's been assassinated.
Exactly.
And now she thinks this is it. This is a thing that changed. I just can't believe I didn't have the actual clip where she's calling for this guy to be let off the hook. But she's calling for a mistrial. She's calling for,
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, for someone who was such a good friend to Charlie, and she's now calling for the acquittal, bullshit.
Exactly.
She is all about ratings, is all about the fact that she didn't get the push up to that spot.
TPUSA overlooked her, right? And I think that she was, look, all I'm saying is, I think she might have liked the guy a little too much. Like, we all like Charlie Kirk. I think Candace might have liked him a little extra, if you follow what I'm going after.
I do.
But I don't know. Anyway,
I agree. Not a good friend.
No, not a good friend at all. Anyway, don't fall into that conspiracy theory. This particular one, if you want to embrace a lot of the other conspiracy theories, yeah, I'm all for you. I'm all. You want to do the Twin Towers, whatever. I don't give a shit about all that. But this particular one, I'm telling you, what that does is it damages the real enemy in this country, and that's radical leftism.
Absolutely.
Because that's who killed Charlie Kirk. That's who pulled the trigger with the propaganda and the indoctrination. That's who pulled the trigger on Charlie Kirk. It wasn't just this one guy. He was indoctrinated, and there's mounting evidence that shows that he is and was the trigger man. So, we'll see.
I actually had somebody ask me if I thought.
Oh, what we got? We got another Emery. Is
No,
Emery
yeah,
back?
no,
The alarm.
that's my medicine
I
alarm.
know.
I had somebody ask me the other day if I thought that Israel had anything to do with Charlie Kirk's death, and I was like, no, not at all.
First of all, you got to ask yourself what would they gain?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
wouldn't have gained anything. And they said, well, the FBI. Well, okay, that was a Trump administration FBI. What did they have to gain? This guy was a spokesperson for conservatives. What would they have to gain? It's all BS. Now, if you want to go even deeper and say it's a new world order type of stuff, yeah, that's radical leftism. That's radical leftism. That's what they're promoting
all day and twice on Sunday.
So, guys, get your heads out of your asses and see this for what it is. Speaking of heads in their asses, Gavin Newsom had a quintessential Biden moment. Two things. First of all, he had a Biden moment, and like you had mentioned in the green room, he's acting for the crowd.
Oh yeah,
that for the event he was attending. It was disgusting, and this guy's a piece of work.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. By the way, thank to our host. Where are you? This place is next level, man. This is one of the most interesting places
I'm gonna go full screen
I've ever been in. ADHD Avenue. I mean, everything about this is. I feel like I'm home. Dyslexics that are surrounded by, these special folks, particularly the young folks there. So I'm grateful. I'm also weird. Sharon, forgive me. This is embarrassing. You can turn all that off. Just because all the noise, that we just need to turn off. And listen to this. This is it, man. This is it. You want to fix all this stuff? This is it. Listen to these guys. We're all just sitting there yelling and screaming at each other. Everybody's getting each other's throats and trying to tear everybody down. And, how are we going to get out of this? This is it. You heard these guys.
Guys, can we turn off all this noise? It's just too much for my ADD, and and if you want to, guys, good God, this guy's gonna run for president. Paulie, what's going on, brother?
Howdy.
Just get here when you can.
Listen, I come strolling in whenever I feel like it. Hey, listen, it's the return of the Zelda poster for Patrick, so I'm happy.
That should make him happy.
It's a terrible angle right now because the rest of this room behind me is a mess with boxes and whatnot.
Exactly. Paul, you got any news you want to tell the fans out here? You got anything you want to let loose right now?
Well, we're gonna stop calling me Paulie Ham, and it's gonna be Paulie Vegas. This Sunday, I am moving to Sin City. Viva Las Vegas, guys!
Picked up a hell of a promotion at his current company, so. Now you thought he was subdued and refraining from comment before. Now that he's got to wear a tie, probably won't say anything now.
No, I can have an opinion. I tested the waters with these guys out there, so we're good.
Tell them the story about your potential landlord up there.
Okay, so you guys will love this.
What happened was
I'm wearing this shirt when I go there.
Awesome.
And he's a Hispanic fella. He goes, hey, what's that shirt about? He says, I see something about drink whiskey, avoid idiots. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm more of a tequila guy. And I was like, all right, well, that's cool, man. And he goes, well, what's that about? I was like, it's a podcast. So I start talking about the podcast. Turns out he has some conservative views. Then we, lean over towards the prepper side of things, and he's also a prepper. So fun stuff. I hope he's tuned in. If he's not, I'm going to have to text him and give him hell about it. But potential new fan, potential partner for me to team up with to actually, really get into this lifestyle and kind of, kind of really engage like I should.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a good place to begin preparedness in Vegas because I don't know if you know this or not. There's not much water around there, Paulie.
No, there's not. So I see a
Lake
mountain with
Mead.
snow.
Lake Mead is like dwindling away to nothing.
Same
anyway.
with Tahoe, which is a little further away, but
Russ, it turns out that one of my new bosses was in the French Foreign Legion. So
really,
we'll talk about if I asked him if he knows Sue, and he's like, I operated mainly in the Congo. He's like, but I'm gonna put a call into some of my friends. So now,
that man,
yeah.
If his friends don't,
he's AWOL from there.
Oh yeah. Well, they could look. God help them if they go try to come get him. That's all I could say. That would be a problem.
He's not from the Congo. That's where he did a lot of his.
Yeah, the Legion does a lot of operating down there.
Yeah, I would suspect that if he makes a few phone calls, Sularu's name will certainly come up. The man is a national treasure.
He's very excited to meet you if you come out.
Oh,
I was telling him, he was like, well, what does your uncle do? And we're talking about this and that, and I was like, he does some weapons training and things like that. He's like, oh, we're gonna get along real well. He's this towering black dude that lives in like Idaho, and he's like, I don't like people around me. He's like, you seem all right. You can come out and hunt if you want. And he started showing me pictures of everything he's killed, aside from people, but mostly like the animals. But great guy though. So yeah.
Good. Well, I'm happy. Hopefully, it all works out for you. Yeah, but what I found out, Will, though, is Spanish people are picky about. I don't know if the gringo's only allowed to have like one Spanish friend or what, man. I mean, I don't understand. You Spanish people are a little different, but I love you nonetheless.
Well, people are actually, we had quite a few preps of the week thus far. So guys, if you have a prep of the week, make sure you hashtag prep so we can get them started for coming up in a little bit.
Yeah, I got a good one. I don't know. Real comms, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, so I just keep buying shit real comms. So we'll figure that out. Guys, if you were ever wondering why we're at war with Iran, let's just touch bases. First of all, I'm going to show a video. Then I'm going to go through a few things that Iran has done to us in the past. And hopefully this will get your constitution back up for this fight for getting rid of the biggest terrorist organization we've probably ever seen in this nation in recent times. But let's watch this real quick. This is a little bit before the war.
Now, Pete, you said this was before the war, right?
Yeah, I would say that most of these people are probably dead by now.
That was going to be my question. I wonder how many of them are actually still.
Yeah, they've got their 72 goats.
Exactly. Grandpas up there not even burning a flag, burning a piece of paper.
Well, and they had a hard time even getting it lit. I don't know. Maybe they don't hand out lighters too often up there. I don't know.
متشکرم. آقای گورکن مراقب باشید مجلس آتش نزنین. متشکرم. بفرمایید. اگر اروپا
This is interesting here because this actually tells them that they're pretty much working toward a nuclear weapon and that they're basically not afraid to use it. This is one of the things that gets looked over a little bit, right?
مثل روسیه و چین این خلأ بین المللی را پر کنند شاید راهی برای ادامه مسیر باشد. در غیر این صورت جمهوری اسلامی با اقدامات هسته‌ای خود ایشان را سر عقل می آورد. و این را بدانند که در چنین شرایطی ایران هیچ تعهدی ندارد که در جایگاه گذشته خود در مسئله هسته‌ای قرار بگیرد.
Yeah, a la snack bar, everybody. Yeah, you're right, Fireman Ed. And I actually made a few notes here. It was 1979. Took hostages, kept them for 444 days, tortured them, um, and finally ended up getting them released. 1983. That was the precursor for them funding Hezbollah, suicide car bombing the U.S. embassy in Beirut, killing 63 people, including 17 Americans. But why are we at war with them, right? September 1984, Hezbollah carried out a car bombing for another embassy annex in Beirut, killing 23 people, including 2 Americans. Iran-backed groups, including Hezbollah, were linked to kidnappings, hijackings, and torture murder of Americans in Lebanon, such as CIA Chief William Buckley, kidnapped in 1984, killed in 1985. I could go on and on and on, not even to mention the IEDs that they imported into Iraq and Afghanistan, right, which killed and maimed thousands of American troops. So, yeah, this is a just war. And I think that we should follow it through. Now, again, Trump says that there has been a regime change. But also, guys, before you think I'm an always Trumper, right? Trump also believes that the guy running Syria right now is a good guy. And he basically is a terrorist that was fighting with ISIS. So, no, I don't think that he has a very good understanding of what's going on there in the Middle East.
And unless he's channeling Sun Tzu, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah, I just don't feel that one.
Yeah, I don't either. Paul, you're probably too young to remember all the shenanigans that Iran pulled on us, but they've been pretty much a thorn in our side forever. Every single American president has said, we need to do something about Iran. We need to do something about Iran. We need to do something about Iran. Then when the orange man does something about Iran, all these people say, what are you doing? They're not doing nothing. You're invading a sovereign nation. Get out of here, you toolboxes. Who do you get to add to that, Russ?
I agree, man. I mean, I've been around long enough to see all this stuff. I studied it. We dealt with it when I was in the military. And it just blows my mind that we finally have a president that has the balls to do something about it, that just about every other president since 1979 has said, I really should have done something about this.
Exactly. And before everyone says, well, Trump didn't do anything. No, they killed the IRGC. He killed the IRGC commander while he was in Syria and basically really stirred that particular hornet's nest. But look, you got to take the man for his word. He said that he was going to bomb the shit out of Iran. He said that on the campaign trail. Yeah.
Ramona says she had a friend that was on the plane that was hijacked when the 3 Marines were killed.
Incredible. Is that the one that went on the tarmac and
that's
the guy
LL something. I can't remember the thing. I believe I took a class while I was in the military called Dynamics of International Terrorism. If it was open to civilians, I would anybody that could attend, I would recommend it. We had people that actually lived through stuff like that speaking. We had, people that were at 9/11. We had Brigadier General Dozier, who was captured by the Brigata Rossa in Italy. Him and his wife spoke. And seeing these people that lived through this and getting to hear their stories was just one of the highlights of my career as far as classes went. And we had a guy that was on one of the planes that were hijacked back in that time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that people really understand the effect that Iran has had on the entire world, right? They try to handcuff the Middle East. They're now handcuffing the Gulf region with shutting down the Straits of Hormuz, but looks like that is opening up. Emery did really good, Will, last week, and we'll get him on again. He wants to, he's messaged me a couple times. He wants to potentially be a regular on the show. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see. Before we get too much more into international stuff, guys, Pam Bondi, The attorney general was released today from the Trump administration. There's a couple of reasons why, speculative reasons why. Her handling of the Epstein files could be one of them. Trump has lost some appeals and some should have been no-brainer wins. And also, I believe that Trump doesn't think that she is as aggressive as she should have been in regards to maybe the Schumer cases and some of the other cases where the left really attacked Trump.
Exactly.
And, you can call it retribution. You can call it weaponizing the DOJ, whatever. But what he's basically doing is trying to do what the left did to him. So before anyone says he's weaponizing the DOJ, it's been already weaponized by the left, and they'll do it again. That damn, what's that left pundit? Carver? What the hell's his name? Bald guy. Anyway, he was a left strategist forever. He says if the left takes over has the numbers in the House and Senate, then they will 100% investigate every person who's related to Donald Trump, every organization he's ever been a part of, and they will basically do what they were doing the first go around. So, it's not going to get rid of the filibuster, guys, and let's push the agenda as far as you can, as quick as you can, because the left's going to get rid of the filibuster. They're going to get rid of it.
As soon as they get in power, they're going to get rid of the filibuster.
Yeah.
And, and going back to Bondi, I've heard two things. I heard some big, huge, very important private sector job. And I also heard something about the Supreme Court. Were the two that I heard today.
Yeah, the Supreme Court could potentially be looking at some things. And also, I mean, look, Trump went to the Supreme Court yesterday and sat in for the hearing on the birthright citizenship. And we'll see what happens with that. I suspect that nothing's going to happen with that, right? Because it appears that some of even the ones he appointed are more left-leaning than he thought. But you got to really read the Constitution to kind of understand that amendment and see what it really applied to. But then you have to take past precedents and past court decisions and tie that into everything. So will we ever get rid of birthright citizenship? Probably not. I had a pretty good idea last night. I shared it with Melissa. I go, okay, so people come here on vacation, birthing vacations. That's what they do, right? That's what they end up doing, just to have a kid here on U.S. soil. So okay, that kid's a U.S. citizen. Parents still aren't. Deport the parents and say, look, here's the deal. The kid now becomes ward of the state, or you can take him or her with you.
Yep.
Of course, any parent's going to say, no, I have to take my kid with me. Okay, so I say, if you're not in the military, if you're not away on a job or something like that, if you spend 3 or more years outside of the United States, then you have to reapply for citizenship.
Yeah,
that'll fix that shit. That'll fix every bit of that shit, and see what happens. Let's see what Patrick says here, because he's pretty much a smarty pants when it comes. I listen to some of the judges leaning towards if there's one U.S. citizen parent as opposed to yes. And you know what? I don't disagree with that. If the parent is already a legal citizen, naturalized or anything else, and they have a child here, yes, I agree. That child should be a U.S. citizen. We're talking about strictly illegal immigrants or visa holders that are not permanent residents. They don't have a domicile here in the homeland, and then they come to have a kid. And they said that the rate of birthing in the United States, vacation birthing, is something like 40 or 50% or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
right?
It's ridiculous. The U.S. as a whole, our population is dwindling. We're not having, families, not huge families anymore. It's been that way for quite a while. And we're on that downward spiral of that. But when you still have 40 to 50% of the births being made up by illegal aliens, yes, that makes it a problem.
100%. And okay, let's take away the entitlement programs then. Okay, you had a kid here in the United States. that doesn't mean you're entitled to our entitlements, right? You're not allowed to have welfare and Medicare, Medicaid, all of that other thing. Let's take away that, because that's the main reason they want to have a kid here, so they can sit there, do nothing like these Somalians, if they're not ripping off the government to begin with, and sit there and suck the taxpayer dry.
Get your citizenship, then you can have those benefits. But that's it. It's a benefit for being a citizen, not a benefit just for living in the U.S.
And the argument from the left is no, illegal aliens are not covered under any of them entitlements. Bullshit. It's bullshit. They are covered on. They've been handing it out, if not from a federal level, from a state level, which means the feds are actually paying for it. Give me a break, guys. Oh, I don't know. Should we run part 2 of Nick's thing now? I think we probably should.
Yeah.
So, guys, we did the daily preparedness briefing from Nick. We only did half of it because it was 6 minutes long. I'm going to pick up the second half. Now, he's told you what some of the problems that are coming down the line today. Now, what can you do about these problems? How can you prepare for them? I'm going to have to fast forward it a little bit.
Yeah.
Today's daily preparedness brief with
Daily light go, whether that's a basement, you've got a dedicated shelter, make sure it's stocked. If you live in a mobile home camper, as a lot of people do these days, that is not a shelter. So look for something else nearby. Make sure you got a weather radio that is set up to alert for your county. There's more information on my website, how to find those codes and program it, etc. I'm going to jump over the Citrix patch. That's more into the cyber stuff. But if you're in that industry, make sure you're getting that. There is another report that I do on cyber, is one of the things in the daily report that's in there. If you're into AI, I do have another one that comes out once a week on AI and a lot of the robotics with that. Make sure you update your browser. Usually there's a button, depending whether you have, to make sure it's the current version. Chrome and Edge have updates out. Make sure all your accounts, especially your financial accounts, have 2-factor authentication. Most of your companies offer that these days. That's a must-have. Fuel, keep your vehicle above half a tank. It's not going to go down, so top it up. Make sure you've got an additional 2 weeks supply in your pantry, especially staples, things like that. There's no need to go bulk purchasing unless that's within your budget. But bear in mind, prices are going to go up. So if it's within your budget to add a little extra in, do that. Same with your medications. If you've got a prescription plan that allows you to do 90-day supplies, do that. Because again, the drug supply chain is impacted and stressed because of all these shipping issues that are going on. Let's see, you got any medical appointments? Get them in as soon as you can. There's not been disruptions to that, but again, that whole cyber thing, that can shut down a doctor's office if they don't have access, because they all use computers these days. Make sure you got your cons plan up to date. That's part of the family emergency plan workbook that I have. Make sure everybody's up to date. You test it. I know there are some mags that do Zello, gain on whatever you're doing. Make sure you're comfortable doing it. Air travel, if you're traveling internationally, make sure that you verify with your airline. Even domestic travel, again, check the airport. Now they've deployed ICE, and now that TSA is getting paid, those lines have gone down from, some airports had 6 hours just to get through security. Online orders, if you're ordering stuff online, allow extra days. Again, you could impact the 7-14 days as this stuff carries on. And that's what I have. And this is today's report for the 2nd of April. But like I said, this report comes out every day. You are a Patreon subscriber, you can get the full detailed report that I do every day. That does take me about 3 or 4 hours to put together. There is a lot in it. It gives you an analysis and alternative analyses and hypotheses of what's going on. And I do have sector specific ones. So if you're in those industries, again, look for those reports. And that's what I have for today. Back to Pete.
Thank you very much, Nick. Guys, fortune favors the prepared. You can get these daily briefs from him. I think if you're a Patreon, he puts out a light version, I think for free. But you can get this daily, and he puts a lot of time into it. And if you know Nick's background, you know he's just even though this is open source stuff, he has ways of getting information. So let's see. Will has a question about RV preps. Question from our RV peeps. The RV doesn't seem like a good place to store any preps, right? It's too hot down here, and even dry food or MR. Yes, it's way too hot unless you're going to leave your ACs running.
Yep.
Your food's gonna degrade very, very fast. So
Yep.
yes, don't store it in there if you can. But if that's the only place you got to store it, then friggin' store it in there and recycle through it, right? So, you got anything to add to RV? You're the RV guy, Russ.
Yeah. No, I agree. If you can keep the AC on, that's about the only way that you're going to do it. To keep it in there, shelf stable stuff, even that stuff will tend to go bad. Like right now, our RV is not even on shore power. So we're running the refrigerators are being run through propane and on battery, and it's working well. We check it every day. But for the most part, we have all the other foodstuffs out. They're up here in the house with us.
Yeah, and Nick Meachers here says invest in air conditioned storage nearby. Yeah, that could happen. A little more pricey, right?
Think Locker 9.
Think Locker 9. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. And somebody else says that. How about a storage unit? Yeah. So if you get a storage unit that's got a little
some
bit
of them
AC
are
in it.
climate. Some of them are climate controlled.
Yeah. So yeah, you can certainly do that. Congratulations, Kelly. Kelly said he lost some weight, doesn't need blood pressure meds anymore.
Yeah. And I told you this. I went to the doctor today, and I've gotten permission to get rid of one of my blood pressure medicines and my cholesterol medicine. So I'm down two. So that's awesome.
Very good. And remember, that's what we always talk about, right? Your health is your first
Yeah.
prep.
Health
Should be.
is
I
the
used to
first
get
prep.
so mad when people said that. I'm like, it's bullshit. Until I'm getting
Beans and
older.
bullets. It's beans, bullets, and bandages. Bandages is number 3. No, it's
Right.
He's a little higher up.
And I don't, but now as I'm getting a little older and I can't move quite as fast as I used to, I'm starting to see that. So I've been taking this whole time in Florida has been my get back into shape mode. And I really don't have to get into great shape because I completely outrun Jason every drill. I outshoot him. So it's really not that I even have to. He told me because he wants to run this drill again. This drill that I smoked him on. I mean, I just smoked him on it. It wasn't even close. He says, we're going to run that again. And I go, look, Bo, what you're saying right now is like, you're asking Michael Jordan to play Spruce Creek High School, right? Get close to me, get to Kobe level, and then we'll go head to head. I go, but don't look, you just can't do that.
So, I saw a video just the other day, and it was about Jordan. Jordan was playing somebody, and this was when he had come back to basketball, and he was wearing 45. And somebody was talking shit. 45 ain't 23. 45 ain't 23.
Yeah.
The next game, he showed back up in 23 and laid up 45.
Yeah, exactly.
It just embarrassed him.
And that's what I try to tell Jason all the time. It's like, look, I don't mind competing. Look, but it has to be close, right? It has to be somewhat close. Now, I get it. Look, and I'm like, I'd say I'm probably 50 pounds, maybe even 60 pounds heavier than Jason.
At least 50.
Because he doesn't have any muscle on his body. So, there's no reason why he shouldn't at least outrun me. And the not being that, look, I wear these big old glasses, and I don't know how I could possibly outshoot him the way I do. It's amazing to me. But look, keep working, little buddy. You keep striving and being your best you, and someday we can go head to head. That's my rant.
He says you're 100 pounds heavier.
100 pounds. All muscle, my friend, all muscle.
Yeah, you just got to talk to him like this. Hey, little fella, you going to beat me this time? No? Okay.
You did really good that time, little buddy. You need to shave off about 8 seconds, but long run. It was 60 yards, and I only beat you by 8 seconds.
Eden Army T-shirt. I can still beat Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
Personalized for you because I can't because I'm old and fat. So
exactly. So we talked a little while back about the terrorists that drove into a synagogue in hopes to kill Israeli toddlers while they were in their preschool. He unalived himself and didn't end up killing anybody, although he did hurt somebody. We'll come to find out that, like CIA Sarah said, this might be a little bit of a broader network than we anticipated. This lone wolf thing, again, lone wolf, but based on the ideology, you're not a lone wolf anymore. I'll cut this clip.
Guy says the suspect who rammed his pickup truck in the Temple Israel synagogue in Michigan earlier this month was inspired by Hezbollah, and officials warn the lone wolf label is misleading.
I've seen some odd attempts to explain away or even lessen this terrorist attack by claiming that he was an isolated lone wolf. But that is misleading. Terrorist propaganda is designed to activate the so-called lone wolf to act on behalf of the terrorist organization.
So the FBI also says the suspect made a video before the attack saying he wanted to kill as many of them as I possibly can, meaning Jews. This while the terror threat continues to rise as the DDHS shutdown drags on. Let's bring in former counterterrorism analyst and U.S. Treasury Department person, Jonathan Schanzer. Jonathan, so we have the Hezbollah. We have a guy whose brother was killed over in Lebanon by the Israelis, and this guy with links to Hezbollah. The question is, why didn't we get him ahead of time rather than why didn't we, how do we miss the clues?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. It turns out the Israelis were able to identify his brother immediately. Ibrahim Ghazali was apparently a senior guy in the Badr unit. These are the guys that are firing missiles and rockets at Israel from the south of Lebanon, where the Israelis are currently widening their war. I think it should have probably popped up on this guy's record as soon as he came to the United States. His family, I think, almost certainly aware of everything that has gone on, what was happening with his brother back in South Lebanon. And so he was killed about a week before the attack. And this guy apparently spent a week planning this, curious to learn about who knew what he was doing leading up to that attack.
So interesting, Jonathan. We know his sister knew. Constantly sending videos. We saw the press conference, video after video. After a while, she said, stop sending me these videos. But he kept doing it. What responsibilities does the sister have to speak up?
Well, that's for the FBI, I think, to start to dig into right now. Was she actually an accomplice? That's something that the FBI can ascertain just from probably a few hours of conversation with her and looking through emails and phone conversations and the like. So, I mean, I get the sense that this thing is certainly not done. I'm curious about who else in his immediate surroundings knew what he was up to. But again, you had a guy that was living here in this country whose brother was a senior Hezbollah commander. If you're looking for a possible lone wolf, if you're looking for a sleeper cell, it's not hard to find.
How about?
Yeah, I mean, again, and somebody, I think it was Nick, Nick, you hit it on the head right here, brother.
Yep.
Not a lone wolf, single attacker out of a pack. Absolutely. I agree. And Patrick says, go ahead.
You know, family is involved, just like the suspected bomber from down at Herbert Field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or yeah, big deal. Sorry, same thing. Pretty close. You know, they still haven't gotten him out of China.
Look, this is a broad attack. CIA Sarah told us all about it, right? Look, keep your heads on a swivel, guys. Keep prepped up. It's coming our way. And like I said, Iran said they're planning something spectacular. I mean, I don't know how many tons of rubble and bombs we have to put on top of their heads. That's pretty friggin' spectacular. I don't know what else they could do, but we'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, it's that time.
Yep. Last call, folks. Last call.
Put your prep of the week up.
It's time for this week's prep of the week.
I'll start it. I put the voice back on, Russ.
Yes.
I'll start it. I know you guys have seen this. It's been, oh, wow, look at that. That's third color.
It's like your Mountain Dew bottle.
Yeah, exactly. So I picked up one of these Realcoms. I have no idea how to use it. I know it does a few things that my other radios do not, but I picked up, Joe Dolio was pimping these out pretty hard. If anybody's interested, I actually found a link on Amazon and I might save you $1 or $2, but support the tribe, of course. And if you can get them over there at Brush Beater, you can get them over there also. But I look forward to playing with this. It's kind of big and bulky, 1200 milliamp battery or some shit like that.
That's the
Should last.
152, right?
152 Pro.
Ooh.
I don't know what that means because I need to get with real comms and he's telling me how to use the damn thing. But I'm going to figure out how I can program this guy. Hopefully I can program it with Chirp. And that's the AR-152 Pro. Opie, it's a new one. So there you go. Russ, what do you got for preps of the week?
Preps of the week. I have reallocated some resources. I took remember on my utility trailer, I had that toolbox that I had repurposed from Teresa's truck. And it fits on my new truck. So I now have a toolbox on my new truck. So I can get rid of all the boxes and everything else, and then taking care of the medical. We have a bunch of medical appointments between now and the time we leave for Mountain Readiness, and just getting ready for that. That's kind of been what we're doing as far as prepping is concerned.
Outstanding. Polly Ham, anything? I know you've been traveling a lot, so probably not too much, huh?
Well, I shared mine. I made a prepper friend in person.
Yeah.
See how that's going to work out for me.
Outstanding. Let's see what we got over here. What the tribe has done. Patrick 7. What's he got going on? After getting a flat tire, putting on my spare, and then my spare going flat, I went out and got new spare tires and check a few. Yep. Well, guy had that same problem the other day. So yeah, need to get with T and get that list that T had for the truck. But Fireman had even a new spare for his Jeep too, his bug out vehicle, and more firewood. Okay. Diana Koala, what'd she have? Went and picked up 36, number 10 cans of freeze-dried food from storage, temp controlled to take to the house for ease of access. Still have about 20 in storage. Guys, another good thing is if you have gasoline sitting around in your garage that you've been prepping, now's a good time to use that gasoline. I know you're probably saying that's dumb, but look, it's been sitting around a little while, and I'm sure you paid less for it back then than you would right now. That's why you prep, right?
Yep. Chris mentioned that Tuesday night on his podcast. He's got a diesel tank at his house, but the pump's bad. So him and Ben are getting out there. They're going to rebuild the pump and use it because he had that when he filled that up last. He paid $3 a gallon. And it's diesel's almost $6 a gallon in Florida right now.
Shit, take that damn pump out and get you one of the little battery operated ones like you
the
had.
One I have.
Man Crush Kelly says new solar panels for the camper at Dixon Landing.
He did. That he got a heck of a deal on that.
Oh wow! Okay,
and it helped several people out.
Nice, very cool. What else we got here, Mrs. Dorn? For 2 spare Berkey. Where are you finding Berkey filters from? I thought those were no longer sold. Interesting.
Readiness supply. Huh. Jane has them.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. I got a bunch of spares, but I haven't. Let's see. Nick Meecher's rotating cans from storage to the house. A good time to use these preps, guys, because everything's more expensive right now. Right now's the time to use them. I say don't use them because you don't know when you're going to get them again. No, rotate them. It's time to rotate them. Susie Q says still working in the garden, restocking pantry, and trying to get vehicles fixed. Feel your pain there. Opie planted a few things in the raised bed. That's what I'm gonna do once I get up to Wisconsin, if I ever get there, because I'm gonna do about 3 or 4 raised beds.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in on that one.
Picked up. Will says he picked up 10 pre-prepared healthy meals from a company out of Jax called Clean Eats. Price was. That's pretty good. Yeah, definitely more effective than. Look, and that's what. Look, this is prepping, right? This is saving you money. And this is keeping you fed. That's good shit.
Something, and Will mentioned DoorDash. And I found out something this weekend during one of our conversations while we were up there at Dixon Landing. Did you know that you can finance your DoorDash now?
What the hell?
Yes. You
I
can
hate,
sign
I
in
hate this
for
world.
DoorDash. What the living?
I hate this world. Rev says he accumulated more shelf-stable grub. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Rev likes canned spaghetti sauce. He showed me a picture, and he has. You'd think he's Italian. He's got so much spaghetti sauce, but it works. You can freeze dry that, Rev. Also, and it comes out all right. Nick says he got all his medical done while get it done while you still have insurance. Yep.
Absolutely.
Rev says next week he gets an MRI on his noggin. Well, thoughts and prayers. I know that there's just a friggin' gerbil spinning around on a little wheel in there, so we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. Went to the. This is funny as shit. Yeah, this did happen. Jason went to the bar and ended up with a sub 2000.
I know what bar he went to.
And here's the thing, we're all there at this same place where I made me miss the podcast, but we're there and we have our wives with us and even some of our children. And he's making this deal right in front of his wife. So I could see his wife starting to chitter chatter to Melissa. And then, then she says, "What's he buying?" And I covered so quick for him. I go, he's not buying anything. First of all, he's selling something, or he might trade it in. And then, look, I'm not the guy. Look, I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm not the guy when you call me or I call you to put me on speakerphone. I'm not that guy. Don't ever do that.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, don't ever do that. Because immediately he calls me up. I go, "What's up, bro?" I go, "Did you get your gun you bought back? You get it yet?" And then all of a sudden, now it's all downhill.
That's a familial trait. I always, anytime I call my buddies, I'm like, "Hey man, am I on speakerphone?" "Yeah, I'll call you back." Who you around?
Yeah, exactly. Or just give me. Look, I can be polite and I could say normal shit.
I just need that. I need that signal.
Give me the heads up, right? I'll shift to the other part of Pete that everyone likes and loves.
We created a code, like for me and a couple of my buddies I work with here, that anytime like two of them are on the phone and one of us calls in, we're like, "Welcome to the shit show." So we know not to start talking shit about that person.
Exactly. Dan says he picked up 50 225 watt solar panels.
Nice.
Oh, you picked up. Am I reading that right? You picked up 50 of them? Yikes. Wow. I bet it was they came off probably like one of the marketplace ones where they sell like a whole pallet full.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, hey, Dan, I'm building a new garage. And
got plenty of roof
might
space.
put some solar on it, so might be able to do something. Of course, I can't afford anything because I'm building a new Leering Center here in Daytona Beach. So
yeah, you are.
Dan also says he got his tickets for mountain readiness and camping. Outstanding.
Yep. As far as camping goes, folks, if you don't have an RV spot, you're not going to get one.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal. They're sold out. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, guys, y'all are causing Bob a lot of stress. If you got your camping spot and you don't have your tickets, get your tickets so Bob can start feeling a little better.
Yep. Yeah, I will do that t-shirt because it's true, Will. My wife beats me t-shirt.
Yeah.
Obi made a good point. He says, if you're going to use your long-term stored fuel, get a good filter to run it through. And should you get a water separator also? Just something to think about depending on where you're storing that. Octane booster doesn't hurt to be added before use either. That's a good idea.
Now, Opie mentioned something else, and this is about the Texas Mountain Readiness. Opie, if you go to mountainreadiness.com and look under the events, there is a section in there for the Texas Mountain Readiness. The campsite that we're going to be at is huge. So they have tons of hookups and stuff like that. You can probably find more information there.
Talking about Texas or Montana?
Texas.
Oh, okay.
Texas. I still haven't heard from Joe on Montana, so I got to call him tomorrow.
Will, back in the chat also, I've got an RV spot at that expo. So thanks for the offer to crash at your place, but it looks like we got a she gave us an RV spot. Julie had a good point. Now's the time to get some hams, guys. To meet great prices on hams. Hopefully, I don't know about Florida. Miss Melissa, check on ham prices in Florida. You can freeze dry ham too, and it comes out freaking awesome.
We picked up one today, and we paid, I want to say like 75, 80 cents a pound.
Damn.
At Food Line.
That's what I'm talking about. Fireman Ed says he made his last payment for his RV at Mountain Readiness. Cool. Jason says, y'all check Amazon. They're running a great special on batteries, AA, AAAs, etc., Energizer, and Duracell. So check that out. I'll check that out also. And if I find anything there, I'll post links on the Eden Army Survival and Outdoors page.
And like Ed said, Monday hams will be very cheap on Monday.
Yeah. So now that's
like
that's preparedness, right? You do something like that. You see it cheap, you buy it. If you can preserve it, you can pressure. I love to pressure can like the 7-bean ham soup.
Well, and we bought the a bag of the 15-bean soup, and that's what we're going to do with the ham bone. We're going to make 15-bean soup, and if we have any left, we'll probably can it.
Mm-hmm. Griff, that's not nice to say. There's slanted eyes pigs there.
Hey, going back to the fuel thing, it's not often that I have tips, but if you guys have any small like private airports, fixed base operators that have their own fuel trucks, they have to run fuel tests every day, and they sell the 55-gallon drums of their it's the fuel that they use to test. They don't dump it back in a tank. They sell those for fairly cheap.
Really? I wonder how you get a hold of that kind of operation.
I got connections.
Okay. Very good. Fireman Ed says Amazon brand batteries didn't last very long in his game cans. Well, I think he's but the Energizers are on sale is what Jason's saying.
Yeah.
Griff says 90% of pork comes from, get it local if you can. Yeah. We pressure canned a bunch of that's what it is. Navy bean soup. That's what I was trying to say, Rev. That he said he pressure canned a bunch. Just checking out your new prep. Looks good, but we should talk. Yes, I'm sorry. Let's I get my permit tomorrow. I'm going to go down to the county and fight with everybody there. Give them $1,000. I know, right? Give them $1,000.
So everybody, just fair warning, Pete may need bail money tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going down to the county first thing, but I'm going to do it in the morning. I'm usually in a pretty good mood in the morning, Russ.
You are.
Because I don't have a chance to like get aggravated because I don't even go through Facebook. So once I go through Facebook, I go through my normal trolling of the left session and then I get angry a little bit, but then we'll see. But yeah, bail money would be good because I'm telling you,
or
it's
QRF. Probably both,
like,
Nick.
I feel like it'd be real surprising if people heard that you were the one from this family that went to jail.
Yeah, that was I think we're probably one of the few that haven't already been, Paul. So
I'm like, I did not have that on my bingo card.
You know what? And the shitty part is, I'm usually the one giving out the bail money. There ain't a damn soul that's going to give me bail money in this.
Oh, we got your back. I'll start a GoFundMe for you.
They'll hit you with the old eyeball, like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, they must got something wrong.
Back to it. He probably deserved it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if I go, I'm going to deserve it. There ain't no doubt about that. There's not going to be any frigging question. They're going to be like, yeah, he did it. He did that shit. Found a source for fresh farm eggs. They taste amazing. Excellent. All right, Russ, I'll do Paul first. Paul, let's get your little saying for the group here.
Well, listen, I'm finally, after months and months, going to start taking this real serious. So I could take any advice that you guys have for me. Hit me up on Facebook. As I've been talking about all year, keep looking out for each other, check in on those that you haven't heard from, and, everybody be safe.
Well, guys, community, we, again, this past weekend, we spent it up at Dixon Landing with the Coastal Plains group. It's all about community. You learn so much stuff. I had Scotty and Charlie and Roy give me some really good information and tutorials on my new fifth wheel. So I feel a lot more comfortable about what I do with it and how I drive and that sort of thing. And that's what it's about. You're sharing information. That's why we go to these events, because we had a chance to see our family, see our tribe, and can't wait to see you guys at Mountain Radius in May. And Pete, that's all I got, brother.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys. Rev, I love you, brother, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm glad you're here. Now that we've known all about the world, guys, get right with Jesus. A good time to do that. Hell is hot, and it is forever. So, yeah, 100%. Guys, I think I spouted out enough tonight. I don't think I got to go on too much longer. But, yeah, times are grim right now. Gas is high, food's getting high, the orange man's doing crazy shit, but that's what we prepare for. It doesn't matter who's in the office. It doesn't matter what goes on in the world. Don't be surprised when it goes sideways, because guess what? That's validation that everything you're doing in the preparedness world, you're validated for. Not saying that we want that, right? Not saying that we want any of that. Guys, and also don't forget, hook up Miss Terry. Buy her adult coloring books. They're about preparedness. She's one of the tribe. Again, if you don't have time to scan the QR code for the Amazon link, guys, we'll put it throughout the social media. Russ, let's start promoting that through social media, right? And get this gal going with this. Also, don't forget Russ's book. His book 2 is out. There it is, Hanging Creek Chronicles, Echoes of Rebellion. I'm going to wait for I'm waiting for the Audible on that one, Russ. But if you're a reader, then definitely pick that up. Guys, so look, again, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Just say, we're ready for whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Jason still here? Probably is. Jason freaks out about everything. Stock market, this, that, the other thing. I go, look, what are you preparing for then if you're going to freak out about every little thing? Don't prepare and just freak out about everything then. What are you doing with your life? Figure it out. But guys, be safe. If you can't be safe, be dangerous. Thanks for watching the Eden Army podcast. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, be safe. If you can't be safe, be dangerous.